This is a diagram of the heart, lacking labels and blood flow directions. By the end of this demonstration, you will know the heart structures and blood pathways. First, remember that left is not our left in this diagram, as it's the front side of the heart. Red represents oxygenated blood moving to the body, while blue represents deoxygenated blood moving to the lungs. Now, let's discuss the pathway of deoxygenated blood. It enters the heart through the vena cava, the superior from the upper half and the inferior from the lower half of your body, and it enters the right atrium. From there, it passes through the tricuspid valve into the right ventricle. Then, it moves away from the heart through the pulmonary valve to the pulmonary artery, which carries it to the lungs. Pulmonary means relating to the lungs. Now, do arteries carry blood away or into the heart? They carry blood away from the heart. Next, the pathway of oxygenated blood starts with the pulmonary veins. First, where do pulmonary veins receive this oxygenated blood? From your lungs. This continues from the previous pathway. Deoxygenated blood moves from the pulmonary veins into the left atrium, passes through the bicuspid valve, which is also known as the mitral valve, and into the left ventricle. It then passes through the aortic valve to the aorta, the largest artery, from where it is distributed throughout the body. That's the pathway of blood and the heart structures. That's all for me. Moving on to blood pressure and heart rate.
I'm Sean Tennant, and I'll be discussing heart rate. Heart rate is the number of times your heart beats in 1 minute and can indicate your current health and potential health conditions. Physicians often use a stethoscope to count beats, but you can check your heart rate on your own without a stethoscope. One way is to just place your index and middle fingers on the side of your neck or a line below your thumb and press gently to feel your heartbeat. Count for a minute or 15 seconds and multiply that number by 4. The normal resting heart rate ranges from 60 to 100 BPM or beats per minute, with a healthy BPM being 55 to 85 beats per minute in adults, but it can be higher in young people. Blood pressure cannot be measured the same way. You need a blood pressure cuff. Systolic pressure measures all artery pressure when the heart contracts, while diastolic pressure measures when your heart relaxes. The normal range is 120 to 80 millimeters Hg, which stands for millimeters of mercury systolic pressure over diastolic pressure. During a blood pressure test, the cuff temporarily stops blood flow. When the air is released, blood flow starts to be restored to the arm, and the first spike of the valve jumps up, indicates systolic pressure. That's the heart beating. The first value pulsing stops indicates diastolic pressure. Typically, a higher heart rate correlates with higher blood pressure. Hypertension with high blood pressure and hypotension with low blood pressure can occur. It's important to monitor your health.
This is a real heart, not the 2D model that you've seen earlier. We're going to put strings through the heart to show the pathways of blood. But first, you need to know that this here is the front of the heart. As you can see the pulmonary artery as well as the aorta. Now we have the heart with all the strings representing the blood. Deoxygenated blood, which is blue, comes from the vena cava and exits through the pulmonary artery. The red, which is oxygenated blood, comes from the pulmonary vein and exits through the aorta.
Atrial septal defect is a birth defect characterized by a hole in the walls of your heart, called septum, in the heart's upper chambers, called atrium. In the heart diagram, as you can see, this opening appears. ASD varies in severity. Smaller holes often close on their own, while larger holes can cause heart damage if untreated. This defect allows deoxygenated blood and oxygenated blood to mix, leading to increased blood flow to the lungs, and afterwards creating a squishing sound known as heart murmur. The mixing also reduces blood oxygen saturation, meaning less oxygen reaches the body's tissues, straining the right side of the heart and requiring the heart to work harder. If severe and untreated, what will happen to the right side of your heart? It will expand and weaken, causing the heart to work harder to pump blood, potentially leading to right-sided heart failure, where the heart does not pump enough blood to the lungs. Additionally, blood pressure in the arteries can increase. As you remember, what can occur due to this? Hypertension. This can lead to various other symptoms, so it's essential to ensure your heart remains healthy.